Yeah. Busting production, she give me suction, she give me face, but I'm a seduction. This a new intro, so I'm a spaz. Feel like a bee, do you like jazz? Yeah, enjoy the video. Yeah. Hey guys, before this video starts, please excuse my voice. It's kind of raspy. I just got sick. Ironically, after I posted that sickness symptoms tier list. Anyways, yeah, enjoy the video. Conspiracy theories, speculative claims, hidden truths. Today we're going to be talking about conspiracy theories, and I will be talking about them with no prior research, no prior, I'm just going to read the title of the conspiracy that I've written down a couple of them. I have a very baseline understanding of them. Some of them I literally just wrote it down because I heard someone say these words in this order and it sounds like a theory, so we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, and I'm going to talk about if I think it's real or if it's possible or if it's complete phony baloney. Let's get into it. Flat Earth theory. I genuinely used to believe that the Earth was flat, and that by me knowing this information, that the government was after me. So I would be like paranoid walking around. I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, is there a government agent looking to kill me?" I was a little 12-year-old boy. Please give me a break. Anyways, the theory is that the Earth is flat, and that all the space science is propaganda. Now, part of that theory, I do believe, yes, space, like research and some of that, I do believe that's propaganda. Because why are we spending billions and billions of dollars to research things that we will never, ever touch? Never will come in contact with, and it will not affect us in the slightest. You know what I mean? I understand like researching the sun because of like solar flares that could just instantly burn us out of nowhere. But like besides that, why are we looking into the universe? Okay, because there's nothing that we could possibly ever do to touch those things. You know what I mean? They're millions and millions of light years away, which means even if we did invent light speed travel, no human will live long enough to reach the destination of the light traveling. Anyways, the theory of flat Earth. It says that Earth is a flat disk and we're rising up, and the sun is like a little light that just goes in circles instead of, yeah, it's a stupid theory. You know what I mean? Round Earth just makes way more sense when you really think about it. And there's just more proof to flat or round Earth, I guess. If flat Earth, you're just silly. You're just a silly goose that wants to be different if you think about it, and you believe that the Earth is flat. Um, Also, it's kind of a theory that doesn't really matter because whether the Earth is flat or round, who cares? It still supplies our life. So, like, you know what I mean? Whatever. Yeah. This is complete phony baloney, even though I used to be a flat earther myself. The flat earther society is just full of a bunch of annoying morons that just want to hear themselves talk. Sounds a lot like me, but I'm not a flat earther. Trust me, bro. Anyways, Nick's theory. This one kind of connects to the last one, the moon landing. Okay, we're still talking about space, but slightly closer, I guess. The moon landing. I personally am kind of on the moon landing being fake because you're trying to tell me that computers that were literally the size of an elementary school, that were less powerful than my Samsung phone that I'm holding in my hand right now, is able to send a rocket and measure its trajectory and do all of like the gravity calculations and all of those things, and is able to carry humans safely to the moon and back. I'm not going to say it was safe because I think like 8 rockets blew up trying to get people on it, so I think that's why it's called Apollo 8 or whatever it is, Apollo 11. So like 10 niggas before them died, I think. I think that's how that works. Again, I didn't do research prior to this. I'm just yapping. Um, So yeah, I really do find it extremely hard to believe that even radios were strong enough to send a signal to the moon so that they were able to talk. I am aware that the conversations were delayed by 8 minutes or however long it was because of radio signals. So you're trying to tell me like 5 years after segregation ended that people were just like, okay, black people are free anyways, let's hop on this rocket and go to the moon. Like, that is extremely hard to believe, especially they didn't even have color TV. You know what I mean? They didn't have so many things that we find normal today. Like, so much did not exist back then, but they were able to hop in a rocket and generate a computer strong enough to do that, let alone generate like the rocket was supposedly flying itself. Come on, bro. Like, I don't think cars even had cruise control, but you're trying to tell me that a rocket to the moon, a rocket just had autopilot to get there. Yeah, right, buddy. Yeah, screw that. And let alone spacesuits. How did spacesuits exist? Were they, okay. Anyways, yeah, it's stupid. I don't believe it happened. You're free to believe whatever you want. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's phony. It's a good theory. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Yeah, the moon landing probably didn't happen. And yeah. Anyways, next theory.
Hey man, if you made it this far in the video, you didn't click off whether you're paying attention or not. You're just using me as background noise, or your phone auto played into me somehow, and you didn't even mean to be here. Hey, if you've made it this far though, please like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things, all the interactions, bro. We're trying to get there. Um, we want to make it to 100 subscribers by the end of this year. That's what I want to do.
Big Pharma is keeping the cures to major diseases. This is just an undeniable fact. Let's keep it a buck. Big pharmacy companies, they don't care about people, they just care about money. That's why medicines cost so much. I think like diabetes medicine, I think insulin is like $700 or something without insurance, and literally like thousands of dollars for basic drugs that cost a couple cents to make. Yeah, it's obviously they care more about money because and plus there were those guys, the guy who invented a water based car, a water powered car, just suddenly ended up missing and was found dead later. And there was also the guy who in saw a plant, he found a plant that had properties to cure cancer, and he also suddenly went missing. You know what I mean? And plus, it's 2025. How have we not found something to at least like a better way of fighting cancer? Because like a lot of people, I personally feel like cancer doesn't really take people out as much as cancer treatment does. You know what I mean? Like, obviously cancer is a horrible, horrible, horrible thing, and there are so many other diseases that are horrible, horrible, horrible. You know what I mean? But like, I feel like, yeah, that they're just killing people. Anyways, like things like AIDS. You know what I mean? Like, I think those people still take like 20 pills a day. There's definitely a way in 2025 where we have self-driving cars and we have machines that are smarter than humans. I'm sure there's a way to put 20 pills in at least five, or into one capsule that's equally efficient. But car companies don't want to do that because they want to make more and more and more money. You know what I mean? The whole health insurance, health America health thing, that's like it's just undeniable that it's a big scam. You know what I mean? But you know, that's just how it is. I don't think this is much of a theory. It's more of just a fact. Anyways, next theory. People believing the COVID vaccine was either poison, a tracking device, or the mark of the beast from the Bible. This one's just silly. You know what I mean? Like, the government has enough ways to track you and what you're doing. They don't need to put a microchip in some vaccine of a made up disease. Uh, and that's what people believe. Um, you literally have a cell phone that has every bit of information about you that you carry 24/7. You feel what I mean? They don't need to put anything in a vaccine. Now, if you think it was like just a way to control people, I mean, I could see that, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people lost their jobs because they didn't want a vaccine, which I mean, it's fair, you know, it's a new vaccine with minimal testing, minimal time to test, so like I feel it. But at the same time, whatever, you know what I mean? Um, I do find it very strange though that there was a large group of people in the military that got like fired, or however you say that in military terms, from the military, even though to be deployed you literally have to get like 10 vaccines before you go anywhere because the world just has crazy diseases. They didn't bat an eye about that, but you know, once you get a COVID vaccine, oh god, no. You know what I mean? It's just kind of silly. I find it silly. Those people are silly. Those beliefs are silly. Um, they don't need a way to track you. You know what I mean? They know where you are. There's cameras everywhere. There's security cameras everywhere. There's like a whole social media grid that you're on. If you don't have social media, nigga, you got a social security number. You got everything. You know what I mean? They don't need to track you through a super secret serum, and it's not going to turn you into a autistic person. It was just a silly thing. People are so silly. That's what I give this a silly rating. Next theory.
Welcome to Busty's mid-video entertainment. I don't know what it's gonna be this time, but bye.
Hey guys, what do you get when you mix a monkey with a human? A whole continent. Have you guys heard of the way cats and dogs will fight starvation? The whole thing where if a human owner dies and they are trapped in the room with it, a cat will wait only a week to start eating their owner, where a dog will wait a month or almost until it's almost starved to death, and then it will start eating its owner. But I find it funny that a certain country will only have a dog for a few minutes and then start munching away. Isn't that funny? Anyways, here's a political take for you guys. I think that if I can beat a cop in hand-to-hand combat, that person should not be a cop. What do I mean by this? I think cops should have more combat training and less weapon training. I think a lot of cop involved shootings would not happen if a lot of if the cops were more competent in hand-to-hand combat.
Let me see a combo though. Ooh. Uh, us.
Hopefully you enjoyed whatever was that mid-video entertainment. Anyways, back to our regularly reg program.
Chemtrails. This is the theory that all commercial planes and there are like drones and planes that are secretly spritzing controlling dust, or uh you know, just like spraying chemicals into the air so that people breathe them and believe in certain ways and changes their brain functionality. um this one sounds silly, but I mean, it could be possible, you know what I mean? You know, it could be a thing, but if it was a thing, I don't think there would be so much civil turmoil. I think that if they really were spritzing chemicals in the air, that there would be less uh like fighting. You know what I mean? Because if the chemical was to control your brain, then you know everyone's brain would be thinking the same. Then people wouldn't have as much turmoil with each other. You feel what I mean? So it's a funny thing, you know. You see a plane and they're giving off a lot of exhaust. They're leaving a trail. You're like, wow, that's a cool trail. They even like use it for art sometimes for like air shows and stuff, and it's pretty cool. But I think you would notice uh a lot less fighting, or maybe the chemicals are to incite violence. You know what I mean? But even if it was, then it would be everything would be even more extremely violent than it already is today. That's what I believe. You know what I mean? But it's just a silly theory, because if this was true, you would see more proof of chemicals being at work. You can tell when someone's on drugs or when someone's not. So if we were all on drugs and one person's like more resistant to it, and there's like a group of people that are resistant to it, then you'd be able to tell. Someone would have said something. They're not silencing that. They're not doing that. Like, come on. That's just a silly theory. You know what I mean? They're so silly. Next one. The Mandela effect. I do believe that the Mandela effect is like one of the most highly possible conspiracy theories out there. You know what I mean? Because when you look at those Mandela effect videos, I swear to God, Pikachu had a black tail when I was a child, and Kit Kat had a dash in the middle of it. You know what I mean? Like those are not false memories; those were ingrained into my brain, and it is possible. I've heard a couple ways the Mandela effect theory could have happened, and I do find it really interesting. I think you can make a really good movie out of it, honestly. One theory I've heard is that remember everyone was scared that 2012 was the end of the world because like that Aztec calendar ended on 2012 or something. So everyone thought the world was going to end. So one theory states that the world truly did end and that certain people crossed over into a new world or a different mirror dimension, if you will. And then where only slight differences, like the Pikachu tail or the Kit Kat dash or the Bernstein Bears, for example, like all those were just slightly different. It's an identical world with just very, very slight differences, and people have a memory of their last life or their last world. Um, a different theory also states that it's just that at some point in time you just passed over to a new dimension, like the multiverse theory type shit. I'm sure I don't have to explain that because there's so many multiverse theories, but I just made up my own theory within this theory. Maybe the whole multiverse shit really did happen and that is real, and that's why there's so many multiverse movies coming out recently. The whole Spider-Man thing, the whole everywhere everything all at once thing. There's just so many multiverse movies going around, and it's just never ending, it seems like, because maybe all the upper echelon people, you know what I mean? Your Hollywoods, your Elon Musk, your rich people, they're all from a different dimension, and maybe that's how they know how to be rich and how to be on the top of the world. And they're saying, this is how we did it. We just went to a different dimension. You just got to figure it out. You know what I mean? That's my theory within the theory, but I'm just yapping. Anyways, the Mandela effect is definitely, it's like one of the coolest conspiracy theories out there because, but at the same time, you know what I mean? It is just kind of like, oh, here's a picture of here. I'm really good at photoshopping. This is, you remember this, don't you? But it's like it's fake. You know what I mean? It is like the most explainable theory, but it is the also most expandable theory, if you will. I really like the Mandela effect. It is really intriguing. I really do hope someone makes a movie on it soon, because that's gas, bro. Anyways, it's a W theory. You know what I mean? It can be disproven easily, or if you just are a true skeptic, you really can't prove that it's not real. So it's a pretty solid theory, and it's really cool. So I'm gonna give it W tier. Next theory, something on the same boat. Life being a simulation. Life being a simulation is also one of the most possible things. Um, right next to the Mandela effect. Um, you know what I mean? It's not, you're not able to disprove it. You can't prove that all of our physics laws and everything is because of computer states because of this and that. I mean, you really can't disprove it. You know what I mean? But it is a pretty cool theory. It is pretty scary too, though. You know what I mean? Uh, I'm just gonna make up my own parts of the theory. I don't know what the official rules of theory state, but part of me thinks like, hey, the idea of God maybe is just the creator of the coding behind this simulation. You know what I mean? Or it's like that episode of Rick and Morty where Rick literally just created an entire universe just to power his car, which is really funny and really creative. But maybe, I mean, it's possible. You know what I mean? Um, But yeah, it is one of those theories. I used to believe it for like a couple days. I was like, man, life is a simulation, and if I keep believing this, maybe the simulation will send agents after me and I'll die. So I stopped believing in it. Um, that's not the only reason I stopped believing in it. It's still pretty silly to believe that, but I mean, it's possible. Anyways, the simulation theory is pretty freaking cool. You know, all of our scientific laws, all of our beliefs, all of the way humans look, the way we live, the way we breathe, the way we eat, all of that could just be a result of how our life is coded and our understanding of that and our reason for not believing that things could be anything else is just because of a simulation and people going missing and all of that is just glitches in the matrix and you're just not supposed to think about it, which is pretty freaking cool. And if you live life like it is a simulation, I think it would be a lot better. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you are like you're smaller than a grain of sand on the beach, realistically, when you think about it. um it's a cool theory, not as much lore that you could really put into it as the Mandela effect, so it's a pretty mid theory. Next one. All right, this one I actually find pretty cool. It's like a I don't know I think it's like a religious belief, but I'm just gonna call it a theory. It says that this world only has a limited amount of souls that it can hold. Which is why back in the biblical days and all that there weren't too many people. Um, but as life goes on, you know, obviously the population grows. But it states that after you die, the soul gets reincarnated into a next person, yes. But there's only a certain amount of souls. There's like a maximum amount of souls that the world can reach, that the world can hold. And this theory does state that we've surpassed the amount of soul to body ratio. So there's more bodies than souls in the world. And it states that there are soulless individuals and soulless creatures walking around this world right now because we ran out of souls. And some souls, they don't get reincarnated because they're bad, or some people where it was a good soul and they moved on. And there's only so many souls anyways, yeah, we ran out of souls, and now there's just soulless bodies walking around. And I personally, this theory is really freaking cool, and I low key do believe that something to the extent something there is something to this theory. I do believe, you know what I mean, because you talk about NPC this, NPC that, but have you actually talked to a person and you really like? It's like they really don't even have like a set person to them. They're literally just like taking up space. I've had so many interactions with people where it's just like, hey, and then you say, and then you try to spark up a conversation, or it's just like a vibe that you get that something's off about that person, and there's just like it's like you just came into contact with something that doesn't really exist. Um, Other ways to explain those interactions. Um, but the whole soulless people thing, that could explain why there's are some it could explain, it could be a possible explanation if you want to think about it that way, to some mental illnesses, to people who commit crime, people who commit things that even a person you think no human being would ever do that. That might be because that person just does not have a soul. They're just a flesh walking around, and they're just listening to their fleshly desires. um it's a really freaking cool theory. um I like the theory. It's pretty cool. You know, there's no way to disprove it either, so it's a strong theory. You know what I mean? Yeah. W tier, honestly, is really cool. Next theory. Our final theory is it comes from our president, our current president, Evil Orange Man. It states that the liberals are making the mice transgender. Okay, our mice are transgender because of the liberals. I believe that this theory, um, it's probably just him talking about transgender surgery research. What were we talking about? Oh, the transgender mice. This theory probably just stems from before transgender surgery was mainstream and widely uh obtainable. Probably people were doing transgender surgeries on animals to make sure it works and it was safe and that it would heal properly. So that's probably what he was talking about. They probably started with mice and then worked their way up to like I don't know, like a dog and then a chimpanzee and then they did human trials. So this is probably not much of a theory. It's probably just a thing that happened, but would it change anything? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like, okay, maybe there are rats running around that are transgender. What does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, those are the questions that we have to be asking. And maybe Evil Orange Man does know what it means, but he did not share that information, at least with me. So, yeah, we're just gonna disregard that. We're gonna say it's an L theory, probably just something that did happen, like a couple years ago, more than a couple years ago, like a couple decades ago. Anyways, yeah.